Thanks very much. I hate to be the guy standing between everybody and dinner or drinks, but hopefully you'll bear with me while I go through this. Basically, wanted to give you a little bit of a background of what AKN has done in the cloud space. Going to basically tell you, where we were, where we started, how we had to simplify our focus, what cloud is to AKN. Some of the challenges we experienced, and where are we going with it. So let's get started. Where we were was all over the map. We were in VDI, we were in virtual computing, we touched a little bit on Cloud Stack, Zen Desktop Voice, Zen Server UCS, just kept going and going. We lacked a little bit of focus, Citrix, Data Core, Zen App. So we needed to simplify. We didn't have the staff to keep going with this, so we had to choose our battles, and basically VDI, Zen Desktop, Zen App, we realized gotta go. Cloud Stack, not the right fit for us. Citrix, not the best partner to work with. If anybody's from Citrix, I'm sorry, but that's the case. Data Core, as a 10-year storage admin, this was the worst storage that I'd ever seen in my life. It was finally optimized when there were 0 IOPS going to the thing. So, but yeah, no, time to go. So where did that leave us? More time to focus, and we wanted to shift our strategy towards the data center. So once we got rid of the VDI product, said, where can we go with our customers? What are our customers looking for? Data center. So virtual computing, yeah, cloud seems to be the way to go. So let's develop a cloud computing offering, and let's see what's out there. But first, and this is actually where Joel's presentation comes in quite nicely. Yeah, we didn't collaborate on this, but it kind of works out nicely. What exactly is cloud computing? So NIST defines it as on-demand self-service, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and measured service. So just a little bit of a background, again, refresher. So as far as AKN decided, well, we can't offer everything right off the bat. So what we're going to do is we have a very tried, tested, proven platform. So we're going to develop an infrastructure, develop a cloud offering on our infrastructure and offer it out to our customers. So we'll do resource pooling and infrastructure as a service to start it out. We had several Cisco UCS chassis, as well as a couple of EMC storage arrays, but the wrong hypervisor. So we finally made the switch over to VMware. We leveraged our existing hardware, like I said, the UCS and the VNX. With the VMware virtualization, we basically built the equivalent of a vBlock, if anybody's heard of one of those, except that we had all the discrete components, so what we created was called the Frankenblock. And we use this actually in our meetings with our potential customers who want to go on our cloud and say, yes, you're going to be going on UCS hardware, EMC storage, VMware hypervisors. And I've actually been in sales meetings where the customers actually looked at me and said, I appreciate the fact that you told me what I'm running on if I go with you. So we don't hide that fact. So what my team was tasked with was build the resilient, reliable, and stable infrastructure, create the virtual computing offering, prove that it was possible to provision machines in minutes, not weeks, and we did it. So how we did it? We already, like I said, we already had the Cisco and the EMC gear in our data centers. Through some of my former contacts at previous companies, I was actually able to find the business model, the VSPP model, actually, with VMware that made sense. And it actually was done through one of our existing integrator distributor relationships. So there was really nothing new for us to do except sign a new contract with them to say, yes, we will pay you on a monthly basis on what we use for VMware. So enrolled us in the program. We actually had the keys within a couple of days, and we're actually able to deploy, dismantled our Citrix environment, rebuilt it under VMware, tested it, including a backup and restore test, and worked like a charm. So in the meantime, We worked out a standard VM configuration. First non-AKN customers were actually allocated within the day, so we don't do the self-provisioning yet. Another customer was allocated 2 virtual machines. They gave me the specs at 11 in the morning. By 12:15 p.m., they had their 2 machines with 2.1 terabytes of storage and 600 gigabytes of storage all ready for them on their network. Also, some of our internal systems were migrated, and proof that the data core was terrible. The performance got better when we moved to VMware and got off of the Citrix data core combination. And since then, all other customers that were on our Citrix environment have been migrated, and no complaints. Our VMware environment's humming nicely. It's barely breaking a sweat, really. So some of the challenges we've been having, actually, is that, like Joel said, 15 versions of what cloud really means from 10 different people. So some customers come and say, yes, I want cloud from you, but I want this machine to look like this, and this machine to look like this, and I want you to manage it. And we're kind of telling them, okay, but that's not really what cloud means, but okay, that's fine. We'll entertain that idea. There have been a small number of just, yeah, I need your basic machine, let's deploy, and off you go. Self-provisioning, we're actually not looking at that right now because of our capacity planning. Again, as a small ISP, we don't have the capital to actually lay down a lot of money to buy 50 UCS blades and 12 EMC disk arrays and have it ready to go at a moment's notice. So we're not going to be doing the capacity plan, or the self-provisioning, at least for the foreseeable future. Also, one of the other things is now customers are coming to us and saying, oh, how do I do pre-built appliances as well? Or can I do that in your environment? But anyway, so these are all challenges that we're working through now, and where we're going. We've learned to crawl, and we're on 2 feet now. So as the business grows, we're looking to expand our services. We have an AKN customer portal, so we'd like to integrate the vSphere VMware into our customer portal. The beautiful thing is VMware opens up all their APIs so that you can actually write custom programs to reach in. So it doesn't need to be their own stuff. We can develop in-house, and we've got a great application development team in-house that's really good at integration with this stuff. We're looking at replicated virtual machines for disaster recovery. We are also investigating deep security, so you can actually do deep security at the hypervisor level. Intrusion detection, intrusion protection, and antivirus, all in the main memory of the hypervisor without actually installing anything into the virtual machines. So that's one thing we're looking at. We're also looking at backup as a service. And now that we've actually proven that the Frankenblock works, our next hardware purchase may actually be a vBlock and actually get compute, storage, and the virtualization all in one go. We're also looking at the software-defined networking, so putting in virtual switches. And we're also looking at virtual storage, so software-defined storage. And really, that's all I had. That kind of snuck up on me, but yeah, if you got any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Dave. Questions? I like pink clouds personally.
So where's your data center located?
We have 2 data centers in downtown core, and we have 1 out in Mississauga right now. And we actually have point of presences in, I believe, Vancouver, Calgary, East Coast, and in the States as well right now. But our cloud right now is Toronto core.
To a first approximation, would it be just fair to say that the cloud is virtual servers?
Well, that's where we're starting now, yes. We're virtual servers now. And the beautiful thing about the VSPP program with VMware is that we can grow into it. So we've actually already used up our first level of points with VMware. We've moved up to the next level, and the beautiful thing is actually you can use their products a la carte. So if you want to install the orchestration, you install it, use it, and report on it the next month you use it. So that's, as the business starts coming in for AKN, that's what we're looking at doing, is grafting on the additional products that VMware sells.
See, now everyone's starting to get into the thing. We got another question over here.
What's the primary use in terms of applications that you see your customers using the cloud for?
For us, we're seeing mostly SQL, some in-house. One of our customers, a big customer, wants to do Zen app running from there, but mostly SQL, some Exchange.
We have another question over here. Sorry, I'm making my way.
Adrian from Accelerated Connections. Just a quick question. I've noticed that a lot of the large providers of cloud services, such as Amazon, have moved towards a utility-based billing model. Yep. What do you think of that?
I think it's useful. We as a company also have to change because we basically like to sign customers up, 3-year contract, 36-month, 24-month, whatever it is, and that doesn't work in the cloud space, right? In the proper cloud with usage-based monitoring, we like to have a set monthly recurring, and that's where we're starting it. I'm also managing up, so to speak, in my company to say, hey, you know what, we really got to get into a utility model here where we're billing our customers for what they use, not necessarily a monthly recurring. So it could be cheaper next month, it could be more expensive next month because of their year end or something like that. But again, that's a challenge I have to work through as well internally.
Question over here.
Hello, Brian Ritchie from ZTE. So I'm trying to understand your comment on some customers wanted customized applications or whatever. If a person wanted to build a website, web service, and it's got, of course, a web server portion, it's got application processing, it's got a database. Yep. Is that something that's standard or custom in your mind?
The custom comes in with the virtual machine, like, I want 367.2 gigabytes of storage, and it's like, well, that's not really, our cloud model where it's like 50 gig or 100 gig or 200 gig or whatever, like, or 16 CPUs and 2 gigs of RAM, right? It's like, well, what do you need that for, right? Can we, work through them? That's mainly the customization we're talking about. From our point of view, we don't care what the customer's running inside the virtual machine. So if they want 3 VMs, one's a SQL server, one's a web server, go nuts, right?
Any last questions, or? Oh, there we go.
What would be the differentiator between one service from one company to the other, where it is all about, 2 gig is $50, 2 gig is $40, but memory is memory and CPU is CPU. How would AKN or other company different from each other?
Sure. So from our point of view, we don't hide. Like I said, we don't hide what we run our environment on. What we're also doing is we're carving up our enterprise-grade hardware, our Cisco UCS, our EMC storage, our VMware hypervisors. We're carving that out to a customer base that can't afford that themselves. So they come to us and they go, oh, you're running it there. Well, I've got, this white box that I've been running my little SQL server on. Okay, well, I can, outsource that to you. So we're not targeting the big companies. We're not targeting the upper mid-sized companies. We're targeting the small to medium companies that want the enterprise-grade hardware and reliability, but can't afford it themselves. That's kind of where we're targeting. And those guys, they don't understand that cloud concept of Amazon. They're like, well, I want to go see where my data is or where my virtual machines are running. It's like, come to our office, we'll take you to our data center, we'll point exactly where your stuff is. So from a regulatory point of view, some of our customers also need to know, that their data is sitting in a Canadian data center with certain certifications and whatnot, right? So that's where we're looking at differentiating ourselves.
More questions.
Wow. It's a good thing I have a philosophy minor.
Sorry, this will be
BS
my last
way
one.
through everything.
So this is Adrian from Accelerated again. Do you think there is place for an oversubscription model in the cloud?
And none of your clients are in the room, hopefully, no.
Well,
I kid.
I can say right now we're not oversubscribed, so it's great. It's a good idea. VMware has some really great features built into it as well. Things like, and I'm going to get technical here, things like memory deduplication. So if you have two different customers running Windows 2008 R2, the hypervisor will actually detect duplicate memory pages because there's going to be duplicate memory between the two, and will actually discard the second one and have pointers to both of them. So from an oversubscription point of view that way, I think it's a great idea because the more people you load on it, it's also backup as a service where EMC has an Avamar product that deduplicates. The more customers you load onto it with Windows or Linux or whatnot, the more deduplication ratio you'll get, right? So I think oversubscription can work. As an operations guy, you have to watch it very carefully. From our point of view, we'll never go completely oversubscribed. We'll always make sure we have 20% buffer inside of our cloud or inside of our virtual space to make sure that, if, say, one of our blades dies or something, all the virtual machines can restart elsewhere in the cluster. And that will change as we grow our cluster up bigger, right? So.
Maybe time for one more, maybe not, depending if there's anyone knows. Nope. All right, I'd like to thank Joel and Dave for putting this, this session together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give a hand to Dave. I hope both hearing from Joel, who can give you kind of the opportunities, and hearing from Dave how they've deployed some of this gives you some ideas of some of the technological and business opportunities available. This ends the plenary session. Just to let you know, you have a little bit of time between now and 4:30 to visit our many sponsors, and we do encourage you because without them we wouldn't be able to put on this lovely program.